Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Gazza9919 here, and today we're going to be changing the brake disc and pads on Norman, because obviously it's got drum brake on the back. We're not going to bother doing the back, because as we all know, 75% of the braking is on the front, and they are a bit squealy, and I've had them on for a while, and they've seen quite a bit of abuse, so I figure I'll get these new ones. And as you can see by the packaging, I've opted for the Brembo disc, and also the Brembo pads, which are just down here. Now, I don't think I've opened these ones yet, have I? I may have. No. Ah, here it is. There we go. So yeah, and these Brembo pads, which are rather nice. And yeah, hopefully the bolts aren't going to be too seized on the car. But we shall find that out. Right then guys, so because of dealing with rusty components, this sort of thing tends to happen quite commonly. I've had to leave the disc on because this bracket, the top bolt, is sort of rounded off. It's just a case of reassembling it at this point. So that is the pads fitted on both sides guys. Also another thing to mention, when you do have the caliper off, use these bungee cords to attach them to the spring, just so it doesn't fall anywhere, because you don't want to put tension on this pipe here, because this is all your brake fluid and you do not want that to split. Right then guys, so a video that was supposed to be titled how to change disc and pads is now been titled how to change brake pads on a Ford Fiesta Mk6. Yeah, like the problem I had was one of the bolts on the caliper housing, because there's two bolts after you take the caliper with the pads off. There's 2 bolts behind that for that caliper housing that locks the disc in as well. Make sure that don't fall off and whatever. Well, it's mainly for caliper housing, but anyway. Yeah, the top one was rounded off. So, well, it was part rounded off. So I thought I'm not going to keep going at it because I'm just going to make it worse. I might just end up angle grinding it off and replacing it with another bolt. The disc weren't exactly in a terrible condition anyway. They didn't really have much of a lip on them. I just gave them a nice clean down with a wire brush, and then after I've cleaned most of the surface rust off with a wire brush, I went around it with brake cleaner and a paper towel. Whenever you're using brake cleaner, always use a paper towel, don't use tissue. The paper towel can withstand more rough stuff, unlike toilet paper or tissue, because you know it's only meant for your backside. Again, it's a similar story with the pads. Like, these are the old pads that you're looking at now, and these aren't exactly in the worst shape, you know, there's still a bit of life left on them, but I just wanted to get the Brembo ones on just because I could. Like I said, I didn't do the disc because it was being a pain, and I thought I'm not just going to do one disc on one side. If you ever change disc, you're changing both, you don't just change one. So yeah, like, I just thought I'd try the Brembos out, and I've been around the block a few times with them, and they seem to brake pretty nicely. Just one more thing, when you are changing your brake pads, and if you're doing your disc as well, you know, obviously with the little tool I've shown you, how I pointed to like the piston on the caliper that needs pushing back, what happens with that is that reduces the amount of brake fluid that you can have in the system. So if you have it fairly topped up, then you might have to drain a bit out. Just be very careful with it. A way I found is just scrunch a load of paper towel up and just dab it in. Just let it absorb a bit of it, because you don't need to take a hell of a lot out. That's what I found. Like, you know, you don't really have to. It will still work, but I just think it's better because there's a line on the inside, so it's just better for it to have that bit more room. And also, before you even start driving, after you've changed your calipers and disc, have the engine running and just pump the brake a few times. Because you've pushed them pistons all the way back on the brake calipers, then it's got to reset itself, and it's got to like realize where the disc is again, if that makes sense, like the distances it needs to set itself. So to start off with, when I changed them, I got in the car, started it up, pump the brake pedal, and don't be scared, because the first time you pump the brake pedal, it is likely to go straight to the floor. That's fine. Just pump it again and again, and then it will stiffen up. And then what you want to do as well before you leave, just have a quick inspection under the car. Just make sure there's no leaks, you know, that you haven't severed any pipes by accident or anything. I know it sounds stupid, but it can be easily done. And then yeah, just when you're taking it for its first like test drive, just take it easy. Don't go racing it around. I got up to about 15-20 miles per hour, then slam the anchors on, and then I'd slowly get up to speed again and slam the anchors on again. And obviously each time I'm doing that, I'm making sure there's no car behind me, no one in front of me, I'm not being a nuisance to anybody. It's in a clear area, you know, there's no pedestrians about. So I do, you know, just make sure you're safe with it. I mean, it's pretty easy at the end of the day, guys, apart from the brake disc. If you've got a rounded bolt, and at the end of the day, that bolt has probably been on that car since it's come out of the factory in 2004. Well, 2003 actually, it was registered in 2004. You know what I mean. But yeah, that's probably been on there all that time. So yours may do, if it's newer, older. Most cars have a similar sort of concept with that. Some are a bit different. I've noticed the French cars are a bit weird how you work with them. It's just a tiniest bit different, because some of them in the actual disc, if you want to replace the disc, they actually have like the little torque screws in there that you have to get out in the disc. And obviously with them being like screwed down, don't get me wrong, it's safer, but they can be a pain to get off sometimes. But yeah, I think without me babbling on anymore, that is it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me out. And let me know what you think to these Project Norman videos. If you want to leave a comment or anything, you know, if I'm doing anything wrong, like, feel free to tell me. I like to reply to comments and that, you know. But yeah, also to be notified of future uploads, don't forget to hit that bell icon. But until the next time, guys, peace.